So now we have discussed many topics. Now coming to the next topic in bills of exchange is promissory note. So till now we have discussed meaning of bills of exchange. We have discussed the features, parties to the bills of exchange. What are the advantages to the bills of exchange? Now what is promissory note? See, in bills of exchange, what was happening that the seller of the goods, the person who was selling goods on credit, was drawing that bill, was making that bill of exchange. He was writing it and he was signing that. But here the case is different. Here the purchaser, the person who is purchasing goods on credit, will be writing a draft and he will give his acceptance on that draft also. He will sign that draft also, and then that document will become promissory note. If purchaser of goods or debtor himself writes a note, this time purchaser is writing the note, signs it and gives it to the seller of the goods. He is making a promise that I promise I will pay your money, this much money, whatever the amount is there of the transaction, on this and this date or after this period. It may be in days, it may be in months, and he is signing that document so that it becomes a promissory note. So the difference is that bills of exchange was drawn by the seller of the goods and promissory note is drawn by the purchaser of the goods. Now what are the features of promissory note? Again, it must be in writing. First condition is same, that bills of exchange, promissory note should also be in writing. It should not be verbal. There must be a promise to pay a certain sum of money. So a certain amount of money has been promised. The amount should be certain. It should not be vague. No, it should be easily knowing that how much amount has to be paid on what date. The promise to pay must be unconditional. Again, the promise should be unconditional. It should not be conditioned in any manner. That if suppose you can write that if I will be receiving the payment of rupees 10,000 on that particular day from such and such person, then only I will be paying your money. This type of condition should not be there. Whatever the case is there, you have to pay the amount on that particular day on which you have promised. The amount to be paid must be specified. It must be signed by the maker or promiser. So if you have seen in bills of exchange also, the drawer or maker was signing the bill. In the same manner, the promisor also has to sign it after writing it. The name of the payee must be mentioned in it. To whom he will be making the payment, that name should be mentioned in it. The promissory note cannot be made payable to the bearer. Like bills of exchange can be made payable to the bearer, but promissory note cannot be made payable to the bearer. It must be stamped according to its value. So it should also be written on a stamp paper, or if you are writing on an ordinary paper, then proper revenue stamp should be affixed to it. Now next is parties to a promissory note. Now, in bills of exchange, you have observed that there are three parties. One was writing the bill, that is drawer of the bill. One was accepting the bill, that is drawee of the bill, who is liable to make the payment. And third one is the person who will be receiving the payment, that is known as payee. So in certain cases, the drawer may become the payee also. Now, what are the parties in case of promissory note? First one will be the maker. That is, he is the person who writes a promissory note and signs it. Then payee will be, he is the person who is entitled to get payment. So there will be only two parties. One will be the drawer, means maker, and second will be the payee, the person who is entitled to get the payment. Because here you can observe the drawer and the acceptor are the same person. That's why one party has been reduced here. Now what is the difference between bills of exchange and a promissory note? First difference is, I have not changed the headings, just a minute. Now first is parties. So right now I told you that in bills of exchange there are three parties. In case of promissory note, there are only two parties. So you can see that in bills of exchange, drawer, drawee and payee are the parties to the bills of exchange. Whereas in case of promissory note, there will be only two parties, maker and payee. Now second basis of difference is drawer. Here the creditor will be the drawer. The person who has sold goods on credit will be termed as drawer and he will be writing the bill. But here the person who is purchasing the goods on credit, that is the person who is debtor, who is customer, will become the drawer. Third point is order and promise. So in bills of exchange, actually the order is there to make the payment on a particular date for a certain amount to a particular person. But in promissory note, there will be a promise that I will be making your payment and the amount will be certain and the date will be also certain. Acceptance. See, because the bill has been drawn by the creditor, acceptance by the debtor is compulsory in this case. So it needs acceptance by the drawee. So the person who is purchasing goods on credit needs to give the acceptance. Then promissory note, because here you can practically see that the person who is purchasing goods on credit is the liable person to make the payment to the creditor, and he himself is writing the promise that I will be making your payment on such and such date for this amount. So that's why, because he is writing the bill, he is signing that bill, that's why it does not need any acceptance separately. It is already accepted by making promise. Then fifth point is liability. The liability of the drawer is secondary. Why the liability of the drawer is secondary? Sometimes what happen, this point I will explain in detail. Like suppose in our example, I will show you the example. A has sold goods to B on credit. Then what actually has been done, A has written a draft and on that draft B has given his acceptance. The moment B gives his acceptance that yes, I agree with you, it becomes a legal document, it becomes a bills of exchange. Now, after accepting this bill, B will hand it over back to A. Now this bill will remain with A till the due date. And on due date, A will present the bill to B and B will make the payment. This will be the whole process. But sometimes what happen, A will be in need of funds. Like suppose B has promised that I will pay your money after 2 months. Then, but in business you always need funds and A need funds for his business. So what A can do, A can go to bank and A can show that bill of exchange to bank that yes, see, I am having this bill of exchange, it is accepted by B. He will be making payment of such amount on such and such date. So right now I need money on the basis of this bill of exchange. You please give me money. So suppose the bill amount is 10,000. What bank will do practically? Bank will charge its service charges, or you can say it will calculate interest charges for 2 months on that amount according to its rate of interest. And suppose the rate of amount of interest is 500. So what bank will do? Bank will deduct 500 from the 10,000 and rest of the amount bank will hand over to you. And then bank will collect this bill of exchange from you. Now this bill of exchange will be with the bank. This is called discounting of the bill. Now what advantage A has got? A has got an advantage that he has got a payment earlier than the due date for his business. Bank has got an advantage that bank needs some interest earning. So bank has earned some interest, and B got the advantage of 2 months time for making payment. On the due date, bank will present the bill to B for making payment and B will make its payment. But if somehow B denies to make the payment on that date, that is called dishonor of the bill, then actually A will become liable to make payment to the bank. Either B will make the payment to B or bank, or A will make payment to the bank on the due date. If the primary liabilities of B means drawing, that if somehow, but if somehow B will not be making the payment, then A will become liable to make the payment. So this is explained here in this difference, that the liability of the drawer is secondary. It will arise only and only in the case of the bill get dishonored. Otherwise, if the bill is honored, there is no liability of the drawer. But here the drawer is actually the debtor, the person B, who himself has promised that I will be making your payment. So the primary liabilities of B only. So that's why here in this case, in promissory note, the liability of the drawer will be primary. Next point is, drawer can be payee of the bill. So here I told you also that in the morning, that in case if the drawer keeps the bill with himself only till the date of maturity of the bill, then he will become the payee of the bill. He will be the person who will be entitled to receive the payment. But maker can never be the payee of the bill. Here the drawer is, in case of promissory note, the drawer is the customer. And because the customer has to make the payment, he has not to receive the payment. That's why customer will never be the payee of the bill in case of promissory note. And the right word is drawer. Drawer cannot be payee of the bill in case of promissory note. But drawer can be the payee of the bill in case of bills of exchange. Now noting. Now this is again a new term. So I will explain you detail what is noting. See, bills of exchange is a legal document. It is like an agreement done between the seller of the goods and the buyer of the goods for the payment of the goods on a particular date. So but see, it's a promise that I will be making your payment on such and such date for such and such amount to such and such person. But sometimes it happen that buyer, the person who has made promise or who has given acceptance, may not be in a position to pay the amount on that particular date. It may be some reason, maybe some loss has been there, loss by theft or loss by fire, or he has become insolvent, or he has died. Any reason can be there for that purpose. Now, if the bill will be presented on the due date, that is quite sure. So the bill, if the bill is presented on the due date and you don't get the payment of the bill, then it is technically called dishonor of the bill. It is technically called dishonor of the bill. Now the bill has got dishonored. Suppose the person has refused to make the payment because of liquidity reason or some other reason. So now you need a proof that you have presented the bill for payment and the person has denied. You need a legal proof for that, so that you can go in court and you can enforce the payment of that bill. So now what you will technically do, you will go to a lawyer and you will tell the whole scenario to the lawyer. The lawyer will collect the bill from you. He will again go to the person who is liable to make the payment, means the drawer of the bill or the acceptor of the bill. He will present the bill for payment, and if he denies the payment, then he will note down all the proceedings in his register, and that is called noting. That is called noting. And that noting will actually work as a legal proof in the court that yes, this bill was presented on the due date to the person who is liable to make the payment, but he has not made the payment, the bill get dishonored. And then in court, your statement will be considered as valid and you will be awarded decision in your favor. So this is called noting. At the time of dishonor, we need that to get a legal proof of dishonor. But here, because the drawer was only the person who was the customer, so that's why here noting is not necessary in case of a promissory note, because that was a promise and he has to complete that promise. Now, number of copies prepared for these documents. So if you are preparing a bill of exchange for payment within India, that will be termed as local bill, and you need to prepare only one copy of that, and that copy will be remaining with the drawer, or the person drawer can hand it over to some other person also, like bank or some other third person also. But in case of foreign bill, 3 copies will be prepared. One for the person who is drawing the bill, one for the acceptor, and one for the banker also. If you are making payment through bank, so third copy will be going to the bank also, that this bill has been accepted. Now, but in case of promissory note, whether it is a local transaction, means within the country or outside the country, even only one copy will be prepared always. Stamps means revenue stamp or stamp paper. So there are 2-3 types of bills. So one is bills payable on demand, means whenever it is presented, you have to make the payment. So on such bills of exchange, you don't need any stamp, or it should not be on a stamp paper. It can be on a paper only. But in case of promissory note, stamps have to be fixed always, whether it is a payable on demand or it is after sight. So many terms are there that we will be discussing in future, but you have to make the payment. So now this all theory portion has been finished. Now coming to the numerical portion, but because these are the rules for some numericals, and we will not be starting numericals today, but we can discuss the entries in simple manner. Like few transactions are there. If I give you the same example here, like A is selling goods to B on credit. So what transaction will be there from the viewpoint of A? A is selling goods. So A will record selling of goods. To whom A is selling, to B goods are sold on credit. That's why A will be doing journal entry B debit to sales account. B debit to sales account. But at the same time, if I discuss this transaction from the viewpoint of B, what B is doing? B is purchasing goods on credit. And from whom B is purchasing? B is purchasing from A. So that's why what transaction B will be recording? If I am recording the transaction in the books of B, I will be recording purchase transaction. Purchase account debit to A. So you can see the transaction is same, but from the viewpoint of A, entry will be B account debit to sales account, whereas from the viewpoint of B, the entry will be purchase account debit to A. So rest of the part we will be discussing on tomorrow. Right now, today you should be clear about the theoretical part. You just go through the theoretical part of this chapter. So when I will be discussing these rules tomorrow with you, you will be able to understand these rules. If any query is there, you can send me that query on WhatsApp.